Hello, Seiiti Arata. Mottainai is a Japanese word that can be quite useful to help you live better. Today I'll be sharing a simple technique that will help you value your own life more and make better choices, refusing to waste your time and your energy in tasks that make no sense to you. This technique works through a system of comparisons. If you increase your awareness that you cannot waste objects, then you will certainly learn how to not waste your time, your energy, and your own life. It is normal to develop feelings toward inanimate objects. Imagine that you have a car that you really like, and if you don't like cars, you can replace it with any other object that you have special feelings for. And one day you see an unknown man spitting on your car. How would you feel? That spit is easy to clean, doesn't do permanent damage to your car, but even so you would probably feel emotional discomfort seeing someone spitting on an object that you like so much. As a second example, let's go back to childhood. Remember when you were at school. Imagine that you got a new backpack, and suddenly some bullies appear, start kicking your backpack, and then they run away laughing. You look at your backpack and you see nothing is broken or dirty, and if you hadn't seen with your own eyes, you wouldn't even know that it happened. But how do you feel about that object, about your backpack? In these two examples, a lot of people would say that they felt a certain degree of pity for the object, as if that inanimate object had been disrespected. But rationally speaking, that makes no sense because inanimate objects, by definition, they don't have life. They don't have cognitive ability. They don't have feelings. It is not possible to disrespect an object. It is inanimate. Etymologically, it comes from the Latin word inanimatus, which means without soul. And even though objects are inanimate, it is common to attribute to them a certain degree of soul, as if they were people or as if they were part of you. Our brain frequently does that personification process. It is so common that there are lots of studies about this in the psychological field, in case you want to go deeper. And that means that, up to a certain extent, it is normal to attribute feelings and even a soul to objects that are inanimate. Take care of the feelings you have towards yourself. Use feelings for objects as memory hooks. Just as you don't want your objects to be disrespected, remember to not disrespect your own life. This is a logical way of thinking. If it bothers you when an object of yours is mistreated, then you should be much more bothered when it is your own life that is being disrespected. Your objects are inanimate, they don't have a soul, and you have your own life that is worth living to its fullest. What does wasting your own life mean? Well, only you can answer this question because it is your life. For me, wasting one's life means to spend all day as an spectator of other people's lives on social media. Wasting one's life means mistreating your body through the use of drugs. Wasting one's life, for me, is being enamored of a politician's promises or letting yourself to be seduced by the brainwashing speeches of corrupt political activists. In the Japanese language, the word Mottainai is made of mottai, which means the essence of things, and the suffix nai, which means denial. Mottainai is an expression of sorrow when things have not been put to good use. It can be basically translated as, what a waste. Both my grandmothers used to say the word mottainai when food had expired and it had not been used to feed us. Apart from it being a waste of money, there was also a feeling of wasting an opportunity, as if that object's mission had not been accomplished. An example that explains this best was when I was a kid and I grew taller, and some good clothes no longer fit me. Throwing out clothes would be mottainai. It would be a waste to not allow those clothes to be useful. Therefore, we used to donate them, and we were very happy thinking that someone else was using them. Other times, when an old t-shirt already had holes and was not good enough to wear, it became a floor rag. And when it was not even good as a floor rag, because it was so worn out, then it was the right moment to say, "Otsukaresama deshita." That can be translated as, "Thank you for your hard work," which is a way of thanking it for its exhaustion, of acknowledging its effort, of respecting that object's soul. I'm just telling you a little bit about my life, and you obviously don't need to be of Japanese ancestry to understand all of this. I'm sure you can perfectly understand the feelings of discomfort towards waste and of gratitude regarding something put to good use. And the technique for you to live a better life is simply to be aware of every time you feel this for an object, and then use these events as reminders, as memory hooks, to question yourself whether you are putting your own life to good use. This is an invitation for you to increase your degree of awareness and not waste your own life. Pay full attention to what you're doing. Don't waste your time on useless things. Be careful and avoid becoming careless with the things that you have. Beware of not focusing only on the things you do not have. Mottainai means to respect your resources and stop wasting what you already have. It is very common to value too much what we do not have, and to stop taking care of the things that we already have. We value what we do not have when we're thinking of buying that new smartphone, of getting that dream job, or having a good life as that person that we admire on social media. Whenever we do that, we are focusing on what we do not have. And usually that leaves us with negative feelings because it makes us compare our current life with the idealized life that we do not have yet. A life that is almost never real because it has been edited to look better than it actually is. If you have ever felt such a desire and you have already fulfilled it, well, you know very well what happens. From the moment that you start having that, what you wanted, it loses its charm in a short period of time, and then we move on to wanting something else in a never-ending cycle. This is a waste of many of our resources. First, we waste our attention when we focus on something that is out of our reach, and then we waste our time when we run after those things, believing that fulfilling these dreams will bring us happiness. And lastly, we waste everything that we already had because we don't take care of what we already conquered. Waste is a pity. Apart from wasting an object, you're also wasting everything that you did to obtain that object. When you act in a careless way with the things you have already conquered, you are not only wasting those things, you're also wasting all the time, all the money, all the energy that you put into getting those things. This is very clear with personal objects. Think about some object that you really wanted to buy, and when you finally got to buy it, you probably experienced a moment of happiness, but as time passed by, the joy the object brought ended up fading away until you put that object aside and you stopped taking care of it. When you do this, the first obvious consequence is that you are wasting that object, but you're also wasting the money that you used to buy that object, and the time that you spent to earn that money, and the energy that you devoted to earning the money to buy that object. The same thing happens with your own life. If you don't know what your purpose in life is, what your life values are, or what you really want to do on this planet to be able to say that you lived a good life, Mottainai. What a waste. And that is why in the course, Planning Your Life, we do exercises to find your values and your purpose, including several interactive activities and very valuable questions that you will need to answer with the orientation from our Arata Academy training team. If you don't have access yet, you can check the link arata.se/planning your life. And then you can watch the introductory classes. You can also use the Mottainai idea to focus on what is essential. In a certain way, Mottainai is also related to the Danshari idea, the Japanese minimalism about which we talked in the episode 231 of the Hello, Seiiti Arata series. When you limit yourself to the essentials, you can lead to a more sustainable life. You manage to live with less, and you're able to accumulate more wealth to achieve financial freedom. The Mottainai concept says that even the smallest thing has some kind of a spirit, and you must respect and take care of that thing, just like you would take care of an animal, a plant, or a person that you love. It can seem strange to take care of an object the same way you take care of a person, especially if you consider yourself to be more rational than the average. In this case, you can reframe all of this in a more pragmatic way. You can become more efficient by generating less waste, by wasting less food, less water, even less time. You need to be clear about what you wish to get as your final result, learn to say no to situations that create waste. In order to live a good life, you need to be clear about your highest personal values. Now, if you're liking these ideas so far, then the next step is to increase the degree of awareness about the things that you value most in life. Why? Because then you will know when you are working towards those things, when you're sticking to the essentials. And when you're not working towards those things, in a certain way, you are wasting your time, wasting your attention and your energy. For example, imagine, a young girl who values contact with nature, simplicity, and silence. The ideal thing to her would be to live in a quiet place, surrounded by nature, with no noises around. Now imagine that her parents are both famous lawyers, and they end up pushing her to go to law school and inherit the family's law firm. If she followed her parents' dream, what a waste. She refused to work on what she really values just to please others. And that kind of thing happens more often than it should. We're constantly wasting our effort to conquer things that in reality we don't value so much. That is why we don't even take good care of those things, because we're believing that what will actually make us happy is going to be our next achievement. In order to avoid this, try to do the exercise of listing by order of importance the things that you value most in your life today. Those values are different from what they used to be in the past, and probably they will also be different in the future. What we value changes according to the context. That is why it is so important to be clear about what you value today. That is the starting point to avoid waste. Being clear about what you really value, and you'll be able to create specific objectives, goals, habits, and anything else that is necessary to reach your highest personal values, leaving aside all the rest, which is nothing more than pure waste. Mottainai is a Japanese word that helps you to stop wasting your time, your energy, and your money with things that you don't actually value so much. That concept can help you to take better care of the things that you already have, to live a more meaningful life, and on top of that, it can also help you to contribute to a more sustainable world. If you want to start implementing this idea, start by getting to know yourself. Make an ordered list of your highest personal values at the moment. Devote your focus to reaching those values, stopping the waste of time, the energy, money, and things that you don't actually value. And of course, planning your life, defining your personal values is the first step to creating a life plan that focuses on what you really value, leaving aside all the waste. You can get to know our course and start making your life plan right now by checking the link arata.se/planning your life.